Good afternoon, Vanessa Webb, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator Australia here. I am playing with new product today and I thought I would share my creations with you, what I've been creating with one of the new suites that is coming out in the next annual catalogue. Those of you who are my VIPs, your catalogues are on their way if they haven't reached you yet. They're still on their way, and you'll be able to see this suite in the catalogue. You'll be able to leaf through the pages. I can't show you the catalogue yet because online because it's not yet launched with customers, but if you're a VIP, you will get a sneaky peek before anyone else does, which is great. I'm going to switch the phone around straight away because I'm very excited about this suite. It is actually very arty, this one. So if you are an artist or you appreciate people who are artists, you will love this suite. I'm going to sorry about that. I'm going to bring that down so that you can see my work surface. I'll put my cards out of the way. I'm just going to lower this a little bit. Yeah, so if you're an artist, you'll really appreciate this suite. The designer series paper in particular is something that really caught my eye when I was first looking through the catalogue. So this is all part of Beautiful Gallery, and this is the Beautiful Gallery 6x6 designer series paper. Now, when I flick through these, you'll see that some of them are little scenes, others are pictures that look like sketches and watercolours, acrylics, oils, and the other side usually has an all-over pattern. So they're really easy to sort of mix and match, but they're so different. Each design is completely different. Now that could be a gum tree, couldn't it? Love that. And look at this on the other side. It's very abstract grey. Let me see if I can flick through and see some different ones. So you've even got some overall like oil painting type, type patterns where you can see the brush strokes in there. So an artist has actually done these artworks, created these artworks. Some of them remind me a little bit of postcards. Look at that beautiful sketch. Isn't that gorgeous? Love that. And, you know, a lot of them lend themselves to card making, but you could do all sorts of things. You could make little bookmarks. You could even use them in your scrapbooking. And they're suitable for all occasions. Look, here's another one that's I think is worthy of framing. I just love that one. Isn't that gorgeous? Love the clay pot. And the other side reminds me of some old wallpaper, you know, that gorgeous old wallpaper that you'll find. There's even sketches that you can colour in yourself or add your own spin on. So I'm loving the all-over patterns as well as the other designs, and I'm going to use both sides of my designer series paper because I don't want to waste any of it. I don't want to waste any of those fun patterns with my card. I'm really going back to a vintage style. I found myself doing that a lot lately, mainly because it's a fun style. It's a bit quirky. There's really no rules with vintage. You can basically put together what you want with other things and it just works, right? So this is the embossing folder that goes with this suite. I'm not sure if you can see that all over pattern. It's called Damask Designs embossing folder. Now this one is actually not what we call a 3D embossing folder. It's one of our thinner ones. So you will need to remove the top platform of your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and pop one of your plates down. And then the folder goes in between the plates. So I'm actually wanting to make a pattern on the front of this card, which will become my card front for my project. So I'm going to run that through and put that overall pattern on. Now this damask pattern is just beautiful. It would look nice with some ink on it. but I'm going to just leave it as is because it's going to provide a really nice background for my card. I'm also going to trim a little bit off the front of the card. Let me just move this out of the way and you'll see the pattern of this folder, what it does on the card front. Isn't that gorgeous? It just feels so beautiful. So much detail. Even though it's not a 3D embossing folder, it still puts a really lovely pattern on your cardstock. But I'm just gonna trim a little tiny bit off here, which I will keep for later, because when you trim off pattern designer series paper or paper that cardstock that you've embossed or anything like that, it's actually really good to keep these little strips of paper so that you can then use them on another card. So let me just show you a really simple card again using this paper. This is not the card that I'm making, but see how I've used a tiny slither of that Damask Designs embossed cardstock just down the side to add a little bit of interest. So keep that in your scraps pile and you'll be able to use that on another project. So here we've got a card front with a little panel just on the side there, so that we can actually put something else there to contrast with the front of our card even more. And I need my trimmer again. Just come in again with my trimmer. So I'm going to use this lovely little scene here, mainly because it matches our cardstock, but it's also got a really nice pattern on the outside, on the other side, and you'll see it's reminiscent very much of the Damask Designs embossing folder that we've just used. So that's going to coordinate really well. First of all, I'm just going to trim it to 15, because this is 6 by 6, so just before 15. I'm just going to trim a little bit off, and then I'm going to cut maybe, let's go to 4 centimetres or 4.5. Let's go to 4.5 centimetres. And we'll just make sure that that's the correct length for my card. So you can see I've only got a glimpse of that beautiful scene, but already it's evoking, you know, a lovely peaceful scene. This could be a sympathy card, it could be thinking of you. It could even be a thank you card. And because it's not too, I don't like to use this word, but it's not too girly. There's not too many flowers or sparkles or anything like that on there. It could be suitable for anybody, for people who like things a little bit understated. Okay, so the other side of the card, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut maybe 1 centimetre off that side, so that I can then go ahead and pop that into that little spot in the card where I've created a panel. Now that's going to be visible from the front, which is good because it's just going to add some more interest. It's a very simple card, and you can make these cards with any of the strips that you have left over from your project. So my word of advice is don't throw anything out. I actually have a box with all my little strips in it like this, and I just grab them when I need to dress up the inside of a card or even the outside of a card. If I just want to add an extra panel of something. I've got cardstock and I've got designer series paper, and I just go rummaging through there and find something that matches my card. But these will match perfectly because they're from the same designer series paper, the beautiful gallery. All right, so I'm going to go ahead then and stick this onto the front. And I'm already thinking about my greeting. Because we have embossed the front of the card, we actually can't easily stamp a greeting onto the front there. I could not have a greeting on the front if I wanted to and just stamp it on the inside. I'm just going to trim this as well. But I do want a greeting on the outside. I want someone to know the reason for me messaging them in the card, and I want it to say so on the outside. So how do we get a greeting on the outside after we have embossed the card front? We could use a punch or a die. I'm going to use a punch, and this is one of our new punches, which is from our current mini catalogue, and I can't remember what it's called. But anyway, I will put it down the bottom of my YouTube video. So you'll need to go over to YouTube once I've uploaded it, and you'll see the full ingredients list on there. And you can watch the video again so you remember how I did this. So this is one of our newer punches, and I've already punched out a grey granite piece here, which is the actual size of the punch. But I wanted this to be a little bit smaller because I'm going to be using a brand new stamp set called The Right Words. And this one is also in the new annual catalogue, which will come out next month. And it's got all sorts of different greetings, but you'll notice how a lot of them pair up with each other. So, you know, thinking of you a lot. The ones with the same fonts are meant to be used together. You can just say the thinking of you, or you can say thinking of you and a lot, either in on the outside or the inside of the card. Happy birthday to someone worth celebrating every single day. You get the idea. So you can have a short greeting or a longer greeting, or a greeting that extends into the card. So look out for this one. I got it because I liked the fonts, I loved the greetings, I love how they fit into punches. And with this punch in particular, I will show you how. I want to show you how to make your punch shape smaller. Same shape, but smaller. So you'll punch out one shape out of your grey granite cardstock, and then what you'll do is you'll slide this back into the top. Now you'll just need to be a little bit careful that you don't pinch your fingers. So my suggestion would be get it in the right place, and just slide it in as far as you want it to go. So basically what we've got here is what will be the size of our punched out piece once we're done. And when it's in the right spot, you just give it a squeeze like that, and you have another piece that is exactly the same shape but a slightly different size. So then if you want to come in and stamp something a little bit smaller that needs a smaller area, you can. I'm going to stamp this one, which says, I wish I had the right words for a time like this. Got a couple of people going through a hard time at the moment that I want to send a card, and sometimes there's no words. You can say that you're praying for somebody, but you may not have the right words to say to them, and that's really hard. But it's good to be able to express the fact that you are thinking of them by sending them a card. The action of sending them a card shows them that you love them and that you're thinking of them during their difficult time. So I'm just going to pop some embossing powder on that. We're using silver embossing powder. I actually wasn't going to emboss this, but I ended up doing that. I was just going to stamp this because wasn't the main part of my, this wasn't actually the main part of my video, but I've been embossing this morning, so I'm just kind of in embossing mode. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually deciding not to emboss. I'm just going to wipe this off. This is what you can do if you accidentally put embossing powder on something and you don't want to. Just shake it off like that, and then you can flip it over to the other side and use it. So I'm going to simply stamp with Pebbled Path ink, no powder. I don't have my heat gun handy, so that's why I'm not going to emboss. I'm just going to put lid on that. Right, here I go again. I've just used Versamark with this, so I can go straight in to the Pebbled Path. And this is a lovely dark ink that's going to coordinate beautifully with our grey granite. I wish I had the right words for a time like this. There we go. There's our greeting. All right. So now you know how to make a punch shape smaller. You're just going to slide it back in and punch it out when it's in the right spot, or when it's the right size for your greeting that you're wanting to use. I'm going to tie a little tiny bit of this twine, this linen thread, which goes with everything. Did you know that you can dye your linen thread either with your water-based markers or your Stampin' Blends, especially if you don't want it to run, you don't want to wait for drying time. So there's my linen thread, just a natural colour. Haven't changed the colour of that. It goes beautifully with my card. And then I'm just going to pop my greeting with the smaller window up onto some dimensionals. I'm going to do 4. You won't see my mistake at the back. I didn't want to show you embossing. I wanted to show you how to make your shape smaller. There we go. So I'm getting the backings of these, and I'm going to sit that just to the side of the front of my card, like that. So you have a beautiful little card here. Let me just show you in the light. You've got some designer series paper on the side. You've got the other side showing in a sort of a larger panel. You get the idea that it's a little country scene. And yeah, this is I'm thinking of you card, which you can write a message inside and pop it in an envelope and send it to the person that you are thinking of. Let me bring some more in, some different ones, using different parts of the design, or different pages of the designer series paper. This one's got the trees and the sky, blue sky. And I've used the greeting, I really don't like that you're leaving, but I hope you love where you're going. And we've got some of that gorgeous wallpapery designer series paper in the background or on the side panel. And this one's really pretty. That's from one of the designs that, yeah, I've just cut a strip off this one here. And you could use it as a whole card front, but I've just used a strip. And I've used the greeting. I wish I had the right words for a time like this. Same greeting. And here's my little accent piece down the side. So don't forget, you can just slice a little bit off your card and pop some designer series paper on the inside of your card so that it shows from the outside. And it coordinates so beautifully with the other papers. The plainer paper is designed to go with. So there are my projects for today. I hope I've inspired you. And this is just a little taste of what's to come in the new catalogue. This suite is absolutely beautiful. So look out for Beautiful Gallery. Look out for the Right Words greeting stamp set as well, which you'll be able to use all year round. And look out for some more videos coming your way with using some of the new products. I'm just going to switch you back around if I can work out. There we go. Yes, I'm going to be showing you some more projects using the brand new colours, as well as some of the products that I got in my pre-order. I've got it all sitting here ready, waiting to be played with, but I did want to just jump on and share that one with you today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to go to YouTube and you'll see the ingredients list of all the things that I've used, some that are not available yet. So there won't be a link to those, but there'll be a link to all the other things. And you can have a try of this technique at home. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.